Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Who here in the audience can give us a nice, very simple definition of the word yada, Maryada? What's the meaning? Respect? Yeah. He who strictly follows Vedic rules and regulations and never transgresses them. Maryada. One of the outcomes of becoming familiar with Ramayana is virtue. Understanding what is to be done and what is not to be done, even in very intricate situations. Maybe some of you were able to hear this presentation on Vaishnava etiquette, focus on respect, Canto 3, Chapter 29. How many here heard that seminar series? Oh, okay. It's worth listening. The visuals are pretty good too. But I won't retell because it was, you know, like 5 parts. It takes a lot to make this presentation. But Lord, there are many examples in Mahabharata and in Ramayana where respect is always offered in all circumstances. And proper conduct in every little detail. So that's Lord Ramachandra, and he's sets the standard for the world. And you probably have noticed this. I've noticed this. Those devotees that are with strong affinity for Lord Ramachandra, their character resembles, you know, good conduct and following of Vedic rules. Here's a doubt. We have several doubts in this. You know, it's good to discuss a topic by raising a purva paksha. Some people say, did Sri Ramachandra's becoming king after 14 years of exile to the forest violate his own promise to Dasarath or Dasarath's instruction to him? Did Ram actually promise to never rule the kingdom with the explicit declaration that Bharata should be crowned the king, not Ram? Doesn't Kaikeyi's asking for Bharata to be crowned the prince regent automatically imply that Bharata should be the king? Well, there are different replies, so here's one. Sri Ram obediently accepted the order to spend 14 years in the forest. However, he did not make a promise to never ascend to the throne, nor was that request made of him. Doubt number 2. Was Sri Ram's method of killing Vali from a hidden position behind a row of trees not a violation of proper conduct for a Kshatriya? Here's a reply from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila. When Ravana came to kidnap Mother Sita and she saw him, she took shelter of the fire god Agni. The fire god covered the body of Mother Sita, and in this way, she was protected from the hands of Ravana. Sita was placed in the care of Parvati until she was to be reunited with Ram. Then, that's in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now, Madhya Lila, chapter 1. At Rameshwara, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a chance to read the Kurma Purana, in which he discovered that the form of Sita, kidnapped by Ravana, was not that of the real Sita, but a mere shadow representation. Maya Sita, or Chaya Sita. Now, this is Kurma Purana, which is not the same as Valmiki Ramayana. We'll say it again. This description that's being narrated here is not from Valmiki Ramayana. You won't find it because it's not there. But there are representations of Lord Ramachandra's pastimes, including this one that's being quoted directly in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Kurma Purana. Remember the context of this narration? There was a Brahmana. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on tour, and a Brahmana was in a sulking mood. He wanted to honor Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by a Brahmana feeding this sannyasi. So after feeding the sannyasi, he was not eating. And Mahaprabhu asked him, why not? Because Sita's been kidnapped. How can I eat? He said, it's not true. Sita wasn't kidnapped. It was a false Sita. Then he went further, and all the way down to the southern tip of India and came all the way back just to give a copy of the Kurma Purana to this Brahmana, so he could trust Mahaprabhu's words. The shadowy Sita was placed into a fire to test, as a test of chastity. It was Maya Sita who entered the fire, and the real Sita who came out of the fire. So this is a very old painting, and this is Ramachandra confronting Lakshmana. Why did you leave Sita? I told you to stay and protect her. And now she's gone? You're my trusted, loyal servant. You only do only what I say. What happened? So Lakshmana said what prompted him to leave Sita alone. She said she would take her life if he didn't. And he called me bad names and said, "You've been waiting for this opportunity all along, just to be alone with me and fie on you. I'll give up my body before you can touch me. Get away from me." And, insulting, harsh. And it worked. He left her. Not just because she said nasty things, but she would take her life. So there they go, searching. Where did Sita go? Where did Sita go? But remember, it's Maya Sita that was taken. That's the message here. Over on the left side of this painting, that's Jatayu, who had attacked Ravana. when he was zooming through the sky with his chariot drawn by mules. So there's Ram looking here, looking there, looking where did Sita go, where did Sita go? And, in this mood of separation, it's if you will kindly remind me to send you a document that has the primary rasas and the 5 and 7 secondary rasas, and there's presiding deities of each. That's 12. So there's a lord of, or presiding deity of, each of the secondary rasas and primary rasas, and a little description of what each of them are. So Ramachandra is the presiding deity of sorrow. This is one, it's so many. There's a devotee I know that lives in the Maryland area, and he can't go to the Potomac Temple because there's a deity of Sitaram, Lakshmana, Hanuman on the altar. He can't see the deity because when he was little, reading Ramayana would cause such grief in his heart. He couldn't continue reading it. There's so many things. I mean, Dasrath died out of grief, and everyone, all the citizens, and the Trail of Tears, and Kaushalya, and everybody. And different. It depends on the translation you read, but one of the translations I read is that the word sorrow is there at least like 500 times. And it's churning the ecstasy, heightened ecstasy of whatever the primary rasa is through the medium of the secondary rasa. And Lord Ramachandra is the presiding deity of that rasa. The English translations are different, but many situations. So there he is, in this B.G. Sharma painting, searching here, searching there, maybe in the footprints, maybe something, and then finding Jatayu. And before Jatayu expires, Jatayu, who's a talking vulture, he explained what happened. How did this happen? And he pointed in the direction that Ravana was traveling, because that gave a clue. Where do you start? Go that way. And in his parting moments, he was in the arms of Vulture, was in the arms of Ramachandra, and he expired meditating completely with a complete absorption in service to the personality of Godhead, Lord Ramachandra. So guess where he went? There's Lakshmana with some water to wash away the wounds. Jatayu's form after death, its four-armed form attaining the spiritual world. And then going in the direction that Jatayu indicated, they ran into this fellow that was pretty strange looking. And of course there's different artists, but one eye in the middle of his forehead, and big teeth, and a big mouth, and long arms, and with his long arms he was dragging, very strong, dragging the two brothers into his mouth. And his mouth got really big. On the way, they were suddenly captured by a giant and terrible demon named Kabanda. Kabanda had no head and had arms 8 miles long. Ram and Lakshman fought severed his great arms, and Kadamba fell to the ground. Ram and Lakshman finished killing him and cremated his body as Kadamba, in his own beautiful demigod body, ascended the sky. He told Ram to find help from the great monkeys under the monkey king Sugriva. It was a good tip. Go find Sugriva, because there's a reason. There's this backstory. There's always backstories for demons like this. He was previously a Gandharva, but once he made a big mistake. He saw the 8 Ashtavakra, a rishi bent in 8 places, hobbling along, and he was laughing at him, a Gandharva laughing at him, so he was cursed by Ashtavakra. You become a demon. So, following this advice of Kabanda, they came to a place. It's an interesting painting. That's a lake, Pampa Lake, pretty small lake, but you can tell it's a lake because it's got some lotuses and it's got some fish swimming in it and things like that. And when he was at this place, Lake Pampa, he found this wonderful ascetic disciple of Rishi Matanga by the side of Lake Pampa. And she was a very sweet lady. She had stayed after a long, long period of time in separation from her worshipable master, Rishi Matanga, who told her, stay, Ramchandra will soon come, so don't follow me, don't enter into the funeral pyre, but go, wait till Ramachandra comes. When he comes, then you can depart this world. So she had berries and edibles from wild sources and brought them very lovingly to the service of Ramachandra. And he was very happy to see the kind of devotion that she had. The fare was very simple. Living in the forest was a very simple life anyways. But her very special devotion was unique. And there was an idea that he wanted to hear from her how to find the Monkey King. And she gave some indication. Where is that Monkey King to be found? So this is a painting where it's showing on the upper left is where the Monkey King sends Hanuman in a disguise. Of course, here he's not disguised, but he had shape-changing abilities. So he assumed the disguise of a Brahmana with the purpose of finding out friend or foe. Because Sugriva, when he's up on top of the mountain, and he saw these 2 personalities moving around down below the mountain, wearing ascetic garb, but having bow and arrow, didn't look right. What's this? He was very mistrustful of his brother, Bali. So here, after introductions are made by Hanuman, Sugriva and Ramachandra take vows over fire, touching fire. They vow that they will help one another regain their kingdom and regain their wife, because in both cases, their wives had been kidnapped by someone else. So it was Lord Ramachandra's turn first to, this is the painting. Just we're going back a little bit. Up on the upper right, that's the mountain, and the Vanaras on the top of the mountain. They're looking down and seeing Ram and Lakshmana. Yeah. So Hanuman is sent as the messenger. Sugriva sends Hanuman to find out who they are. Lakshman says, so the Lakshman is the spokesperson in many cases. He's the representative of the Supreme Lord or Guru. So he does the talking, and commonly. Ramachandra just lets him be the spokesperson. And so Hanuman, you know this story, when Hanuman comes before Ram, he doesn't conceal anything. He reveals everything. This is my name, this is who this is where I've come from, this is my purpose. And I've been asked to see if you're friend or foe. Could you identify yourselves? So Lakshman's the one to identify themselves. They're searching for Sugriva, the king of Vanaras, to befriend him in order to take help in searching for Sita. So immediately, Lakshman is ready to do all of that. And here, on the left side, he's wearing a crown, but he's dressed as a mendicant or a brahmana. Here's another much better drawn painting. Concealing, but he didn't maintain the concealing position for long. Hanuman gave his identity, asked Ramachandra what was their purpose, and once that was told, they were brought by Hanuman to Sugriva. And there's many nice paintings. How are they going to get up this big mountain? I'll carry you. So he made his body really big, and he carried them on his two shoulders. And when he reached the top of the mountain, of course, this is a very interesting shape of a mountain, but the introductions were made, and the purpose of both was identified, and vows are taken. And while the vows are taken, you see one Vanara is holding out the cloth that Sita had tossed off the top of the Rishimukh mountain, so they could see her purpose was, perhaps Ramachandra will find these ornaments that belong to me, and he'll know which direction I was going in. So there's the ornaments by his feet. He's inspecting everything, and he's emotionally moved. Another heightened state of emotion. Second, Ramayana is filled with rasa of different flavors. So this is like the separation mood, again heightened. And he's showing Lakshman, you recognize this ornament, you recognize that ornament. These are Sita's. So it's confirmed. Now they knew the direction that she was headed. Here's another nice painting showing the same. So there's a vow of friendship, and the first one who's going to be put to task is Ramachandra will help. You see, Sugriva is the one with the crown on, a monkey crown. And Ramachandra feeling very sorrowful, seeing the ornaments of Sita. Lakshman recognizing. And over on the right side, that's Jambavan. So now the plan is set. The plan is set. Once the oath is taken, it's Ramachandra's turn first to take care of getting the wife of Sugriva back. So there was a plan. And the plan was that Vali, the brother who kidnapped his Sugriva's wife, would be challenged in a duel. And then Ramachandra would slay Vali while in the midst of the duel. Well, that didn't work out so well. Because Vali was several reasons. Vali was very strong. I mean, there's this nice description. He had mystic powers too. Every day, he would travel in each of the 4 directions to take a sacred bath. Zoom, 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 zoom. And then the next place, then the next place. And it's very powerful, very powerful. So Sugriva was also powerful, but not as powerful as Vali. So he whooped him. And he got away. And so Sugriva asked him, why did you not kill him? And he said, well, I couldn't, you look so much alike, I couldn't tell the difference. So the second time around, you just wear a garland. Then I can tell which one, who's who. I could never figure this out. If you're wearing a garland, you're fighting till death, the garland's going to not stay on your neck. But anyway, that was the plan. Did Ram speak an untruth when he said he could not distinguish between the 2 brothers? Sugriva, you are an offender much like Vali. I don't see a difference between you 2. By receiving Lakshmana's forgiveness, by receiving a garland from him, the offense was taken away. Now the 2 could be distinguished. This is our Acharya's explanation of that wasn't a lie or wasn't an untruth. And a second and internal reason was not spoken to Sugriva does not constitute an untruth. Rather, it displays a gentle and subtle kindness of Ram, who exercised his grace and his ability to correct another's mistake in a simple, non-confrontational manner. This is Maryada, how to accomplish something gracefully without confronting or shaking somebody or scolding somebody or something. This statement is one of those that remains inexplicable because the Lord's words are profound, like his declaring confidentiality of Bhagavad Gita. Clear? Reasonably clear. Here's an explanation given by Madhvacharya. Many of you know Madhvacharya made a partial commentary on Ramayana found within Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya. And this is a section from that commentary, Madhvacharya's commentary. There's an enmity between 2 siblings that commonly doesn't last long. If the 2 later wanted to restore their fraternal affection for one another, I should not kill Vali just now. This is Madhvacharya. To illustrate the principle to Sugriva that sudden demise of a sibling may be the cause of irretractable regret, and also to avoid any possible future regret caused by him, Ram, always free from any blemish, knowing all this, chose to not kill him. Madhvacharya. So second time there he's wearing a garland. And there's Ramchandra hiding behind trees. And then came this, this other doubt. When Vali was beaten by big battle, and finally Ramachandra killed Vali, then Vali made an accusation against Ramachandra. What kind of Kshatriya spirit is this? You're hiding behind trees, you're killing a monkey in this way. So he made his complaint that you're the son of Dasarath, and you're living this life in the forest, and you're violating the codes of conduct. So why did you do this? So here's some reasons. This entire earth belongs to the descendants of Manu, having been bequeathed to them by that great deity. So there's a duty: promote virtue, punish the wicked. And what you did was wicked. What you did is, by law of Manu, is punishable. Cohabiting with another man's wife is punishable by death. The younger brother should be regarded as one's own son, and his wife as one's daughter-in-law. Vali had therefore been guilty of two great sins, both by punishing a sinless Sugriva and by cohabiting with Ruma, Sugriva's wife. The scriptures prescribe death as the punishment for one who has illicit sexual relations with his own daughter or wife of his younger brother. So you are due to be punished in this way. You are now freed from the sinful reaction, which would have sent you to hell. A person punished by the king is released from all sins and ascends to heaven. But if the king fails to punish a sinner, then he himself incurs the sin. Maryada Purushottama. If I did not act wrongly by remaining concealed. Since you're a monkey, this was an appropriate way to kill you. When hunting, the king shoots arrows at animals while hidden from view. So I also shot you. Abiding by the virtue of a king, an ideal king. So in many different ways, this platform of Lord Ramachandra being Maryada Purushottama, the ideal maintainer and exemplar of following the codes of conduct of the Vedas. Here we go again, Maryada Purushottama. Now, there's another situation that sometimes is questioned. The killing of a lady, the first demon that Ramachandra killed under the guidance of Vishwamitra was to slay Tataka. So sometimes this doubt is raised. The scriptures state that a woman should always be protected and never attacked. Tataka was a woman. Was Ram's killing Tataka not a violation of moral conduct? It's a reasonable question. There she is. Fierce. And there's, see, down at the bottom of the painting, how tiny Ram is compared to Tataka. And she did, when she saw some intruder, she would attack them. With little skulls hanging for her clothing. So, when ordered by Vishwamitra, she was killed because she was in the process of attacking, not just, making a loud noise or speaking. So, what about this fact that she was a woman and that's the first demon that Ram killed? It's a very interesting painting, huh? So, Prabhupada made this comment when an aggressor attacks, only then can you take the life of an aggressor. Here's a little example. Prabhupada was in his room in Vrindavan, and it was mosquito season. So there's mosquitoes zooming around, and the devotees had a fan or whisk, and were trying to keep the mosquitoes away. And Prabhupada said, "Don't harm them. It's okay." And then, but when they landed on or ready to starting to draw blood, said, "Now you can attack them because they're attacking you." It's a principle. The ahimsa principle, so she was attacking them. Of course, she had done horrible things to other sages. And that's why they were brought by Vishwamitra to deal with her. But when she started attacking them, then it was appropriate. Sita's exile, this is a really big one. So when she was pregnant, you know the story. And then there's the doubt about the situation. When Ramachandra was going around, or had someone going around hearing what's the gossip out there in the countryside, within the kingdom, he heard someone speaking. I'm not like Ramachandra. You've spent the night outside the home, and I'm not going to have you back in the house. Ramachandra took Sita back, although she had been out of his custody for some number of days. And I'm not like him. I'm not a henpecked fellow like Ramachandra. Gossip. That wasn't at all the situation, but Ramachandra, hearing this, he took the necessary steps and had her sent to the ashram of Valmiki. And poor Lakshmana had to do the honors of taking Sita away from Ramachandra while she was pregnant. Here's a little story from Padma Purana about Krodana the washerman. Now, I didn't do the reading up I should have done. So in his previous birth, as a washerman, previous to the birth of a washerman. So the washerman is the one that was making this comment about his wife. That's the situation. So in their previous to this birth as a washerman, there was these two birds, male and female. And Valmiki Ramayana indicates I can't remember the detail. Does somebody here know the detail of the parrot's story? You know the detail? You know the detail?
Yeah. Is that the one which instigated Valmiki to write the Ramayana?
No. Different. Pardon me, but I've been pretty busy. And second thing, my memory is very poor. So there's a document sitting in my desk, and we'll discuss tomorrow. We'll see the slide and see this particular pastime. A second reason why, according to Valmiki Ramayana, Sita specifically requested Ram to again spend time in the forest with the sages after they returned to Ayodhya. And Ramachandra was very concerned. The Sri Vaishnava Acharyas say specifically, Sita desired to have her delivery in the forest among the sages. Another reason, Sita made some harsh words to Lakshmana, and there's Lakshmana making his Lakshman Rekha, don't cross over, this mark on the ground. The Lord can forgive offenses committed toward him, but he does not tolerate when offense is committed to his dearest devotees, even if the offender is the goddess of fortune. So in other words, the offensive words, not just harsh, but cruel and offensive words she spoke to Lakshman, there's consequences, or at least in Leela, there's consequences. Here's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu teaching the same point. two types of grave offenses: offense to the dearest devotee or to Krishna himself. And even real bhava bhakti is destroyed. Now, that's serious. In the description of Bharat, he is the son of Rishabdev, and he attained the stage of bhava bhakti. Commentary says it wasn't just his attachment to the deer. He fell from the position of bhava because of some offense. It doesn't say what the offense was. At least I haven't been able to find what it was that Bharata did previously that brought about his demise from the bhava bhakti platform, but that there's a cause. And the cause of an offense can destroy even bhava. Now here's another that I can't remember. I'm unprepared, I'm very sorry. Kyati, the wife of Brigu. Just as I became separated from my wife, Vishnu will be separated from his wife at some point. There's a detailed description of Brigu and his wife being separated. We'll cover it later. Ramachandra subordinated his personal desire in favor of the well-being and interest of his citizens. Now that's an easy one, common one that's given, but even more importantly, there's a detail given by, again, Madhvacharya. A demon received a benediction that for as long as Lakshmi and Narayan are united, I cannot die. And they're always united. He thought that Lakshmi and Narayan can never be separated. For this reason, the demon requested this benediction. But everyone has to die. And so, while Ram was separated from Sita, Indra killed that demon. Then Ram had planned he would call her back. Madhvacharya. Now, there's another explanation that says Ramachandra was particularly concerned about Sita and the children. The children should not hear this bad-mouthing. Supposing he didn't banish and the children were born and they grow up hearing, my father this and my mother that, and he didn't want Sita or the children to be subjected to that kind of abuse. So he sent her away. Then the situation of Sita's entering the earth. This is on the same Maryada Purushottama. When the two boys were born, Valmiki was their teacher. And who could have a better teacher than Valmiki? So he taught them everything, including the whole of Ramayana. And not only they learned the whole of Ramayana, but then they could play musical instruments to accompany the singing, because Anustup, the whole of Ramayana was a song in a certain meter, very simple meter. And the boys learned the whole song of Ramayana, under the tutelage of Valmiki. And by the time, and he taught them military skills, everything. Who could have a better teacher than Valmiki? No such thing. And he gave initiation to these two boys, and as well as how to play musical instruments and how to sing Ramayana. And at a certain point in time, the two boys were brought to Ayodhya. And there was a request, can these two boys perform singing of a song about you? And it was so enchanting he wanted to know, who are these boys? They're your sons. And there's a nice painting, very nice painting. At a certain point, Sita was present. So again, the Ram and Sita and the sons were brought together because Sita came with Valmiki and her two sons, Lava and Kush. And she enters into the earth. And there's Anantashesh, and there's Bhumi, Mother Earth, coming to take Sita away. And there's a long, very beautiful description of how Sita came from the earth. We're not going to do that this evening because it's too long. But there they go. Rising from the earth came this throne, Bhumi by her side, and then she just entered into the earth, and that was the end of the pastimes of Sita. And from that point on, it was the worst of all separations. The mood of sorrow went on for a long period of time. Even the personality of Godhead. But let us remember, let us not forget, this is an increase of ecstasy. Each of the 7 secondary rasas enhance the primary rasa. It doesn't cover it over, it enhances it. And there's a certain flavor, because that's one of the meaning of rasa. It's flavor or mellow or juice. One very nice, simple English translation of rasa is juice. So the different flavors of juice. And then there's mixing. And so this mood of, as Ramachandra was experiencing, as the residents of Ayodhya were experiencing, as everyone is experiencing, including Ramachandra, the ecstasy, the heightened ecstasy of love. In this particular case, in conjugal love. But whenever difficulties arose, that's one of the things that would happen. And therefore, is strengthening the loving exchange of the primary rasa by the secondary rasa, and he's the presiding deity of it. The children are a little restless, huh? Sometimes. I feel badly that I'm not properly prepared. I don't like to do that, but that will make up for it tomorrow. Those portions that I couldn't recall. Let's see if there's some discussion. Without it, just go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful class. I was just
The microphone is off.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, yeah. Best to leave it off. Somebody
Without mic.
without the mic, yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I was just curious about one point where you mentioned about like the Sita that was taken or like taken away by Ravana was Maya Sita. So does that mean like that Sita Devi who was there in Ravana's place was showing the like she also had the attachment to reach Ram?
Yes.
So
Yes.
is that more like a devotee of
No,
Ram
there
that was there?
no.
Or
It's,
like something different?
there's Valmiki Ramayana, and then there's so many other Ramayanas, as you know. But the specific reference from Kurma Purana is different. It's Maya Sita. So with that model or that particular depiction of, it wasn't Sita that was kidnapped, it was Maya Sita. So the answer to your question is, yes, it's Maya Sita, but the reflection of the object manifests something very similar to the object that it's the reflection of. So the emotion isn't the original from this Kurma Purana model or depiction. She's experiencing separation, love and separation, a reflection of.
It's kind of same rasa that.
Yes,
Yes.
reflection of. And then, one could argue, or one could reason, well, that's nothing compared to what the real Sita was experiencing. It's a reflection that's not as substantial as the real thing. One could, with that model, one could look at it that way. And it's right in Chaitanya Charitamrita, so we can't just look the other way and say it didn't happen. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was accepting. So now, then how does it work? One of the answers is different days of Brahma, different appearances of Ramachandra, so Kalpabheda. Different appearances of Krishna, different appearances of Ramachandra, different appearances of forms of the Lord, and therefore, because of different days of Brahma, there's different details. And it's allowed for because it's a different day of Brahma. And the mood, the bhava, doesn't change. The detail may change, but the thread or the essence of the bhava is the same. Exchanges of love between the beloved and the object of love. So, for us, Valmiki Ramayana is the gold standard. And that's the Supreme Court. And then these other versions, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted it, even before he found Kurma Purana, he accepted it, which means he knew. And then he pacified the Brahmana. It's okay, you can take your meal. It wasn't real Sita that was kidnapped.
The reason I had that question was I was thinking about if it was really a devotee form who was basically having the long game.
You're saying a devotee form. What does that mean?
I mean someone.
It's not a jiva. She's not a jiva.
I mean someone who has a deep longing to be along with Rama, but she's not the real Sita.
Well, you're just repeating what
Yeah.
Kurma Purana said.
So
But is Sita a devotee? Of course she's a devotee. She's the Lord Shakti. Is she devoted? The Shakti devoted to Shaktiman? She's a devotee. The real Sita. In a certain rasa. So that's where I'm confused by your question. The question is she really a devotee? She's really a devotee. She's really a devotee. And the Maya Sita is also. Okay?
there was another question.
Go ahead.
About where Sugriva and Vali were having the fight.
Yeah.
And Ram was trying
Not
to.
fighting right, not killing him right away.
Yeah, so there was a point where you mentioned about both of them were equally a culprit. Sugriva also was sinful. That's why he had to have
This
the
difficulty.
blessing from Lakshmana.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand what is the sin from Sugriva.
My memory is weak, but it had something to do with the dispute between the two, Vali and Sugriva. Something to do with some offense from the side of Sugriva to Vali that caused their issue. It wasn't just he beat up on his younger brother because I'm the big brother, and does somebody in the room recall the transgression made by Sugriva to bring about this whole? Huh?
He left him in the cave.
He left him in the cave.
In the cave.
Cave.
Wali was kept in a cave,
Cave.
and
The
the
door
fight
was
some
closed.
Door was
The
closed.
stone rock was closed.
Okay. Does that answer your question?
I mean, like, that seems like only part he
Why?
did what his brother wanted him to.
What? Was there if there was a transgression on the part of Sugriva? That's the question. They're both transgressors. One may be more severe transgressor, another less severe transgressor, but a transgressor, and therefore to be corrected or punished. So the relief of that transgression was having Lakshman place a garland around his neck and getting that blessing from Lakshman, the guru representative of Lord Ramachandra. Then the transgression, that transgression reaction was taken away. You want to go with it some more? You're okay? Are you sure? Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Wonderful class. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Here comes a microphone. He wants you to speak into the microphone.
Thank you. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Ah.
So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you mentioned about Brahmana, Kurma Purana, and he gave. So from Chaitanya Charitamrita or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu give any more references about Ramayana? That is any more additional references like.
Are there any other places in Madhya Lila where Lord Chaitanya speaks about Ramachandra's pastimes? That's
Correct.
your question?
That is.
Nothing comes to mind? Must be, because he's a form of the Lord. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the avatari from whom other avatars come. So there must be some. But, nothing is coming to my mind.
Sure, Maharaj. One more question, Maharaj.
Yes.
So Lord Rama is the preceding deity of sorrow.
Lord Rama is doing what?
Preceding deity of sorrow, of rasas. You mentioned the 12 rasas.
Yes.
So the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also in that mood.
Well, he includes everything. As Krishna includes everything, Mahaprabhu includes everything.
Okay, Maharaj.
He's not the presiding deity of one or another. He's everything.
Sure, Maharaj.
And then that means the devotees are able to get nourishment in any of the primary, secondary through him. In his Leela, and then going forward in time. Yes?
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My question is Maya Sita. So what is that real, and if so, what is the her role in the spiritual world?
Well, there's no Maya Sita in the spiritual world. There's Sita in the spiritual world. For the Leela, there is. Just today, had a long car. much longer car ride to get from Dallas to Austin. We were calculating 2 hours. It took almost 4 hours. But in the course of that ride, there was a question. Someone was asking about, that's from the email thing, when in Brahma Vimohan Leela, there were 3 sets of cowherd boys. One, Krishna manifested himself as the cowherd boys. So it's Krishna for 1 year, in the exact likeness of each of the cowherd boys. 2, Lord Brahma kidnapped. Our commentators say he can't kidnap the eternal associates of Krishna. So what did Krishna do? He knew what Brahma was planning, so he made Maya manifestations of those cowherd boys. And then the Maya manifestations of the cowherd boys are put in the cave, and he put them to sleep. You can't put eternal associates of Krishna to, Brahma doesn't have that power. And then the third set was, the original cowherd boys themselves. So where were the original cowherd boys themselves? They were placed in the care of Yogamaya, and in mystic slumber for 1 year, they were just long sleep, mystic slumber, Yogamaya, Yoga Nidra. And when the year was over, the real cowherd boys woke up, or the Yogamaya force was withdrawn, and they looked at each other and said, what happened? They didn't have any sense of passage of time. And so, go back to your question.
Yeah.
The Maya Sita is not of the spiritual world. She's for the purpose of the Lord's pastimes. Valmiki Ramayana explicitly makes no mention at all, but this other Ramayana, or the other narration of Ram's pastimes in Kurma Purana does. The whole thing, the Agni, and then, the whole thing.
Yes.
It's not in Kurma Purana, it's not in Valmiki Ramayana, but it's a well-known pastime. So it means other narrations from other days of Brahma, and so there's no Maya Sita in the spiritual world. The emotion of the Maya Sita was real emotion. But, real emotion compared to the emotion of Sita in the mood of separation from Ramachandra. Okay? Okay. Over on this side, yes, we see. Here comes the microphone.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So my quick question is that was it like real Mata Sita or the Maya Sita Ma who said offensive words to Lakshman ji, because that happened right before she was kidnapped?
I'm not sure what your question is. Are you asking, let me see if I got it.
Yes.
Are you asking when Maya Sita was kidnapped, in the Kurma Purana version, when Maya Sita was kidnapped, what was Lakshman's role? That's your question?
No, Maharaj. So was it Maya Sita who said offensive words to Lakshman?
No.
No.
No. I mean, I spoke very quickly. The Maya Sita, the switcheroo, took place when Ravana tried to kidnap her. It wasn't all the previous preamble things. It's when Ravana tried to kidnap her. Because the argument goes, how can Ravana touch Sita? Is that possible? It's not possible. No, that's from Valmiki Ramayana. It's definitely possible. But one could have the argument, no way. Maya Sita. So the switcheroo is at that particular moment. Maya Sita taken, and the real Sita concealed by Yogamaya. Similar to this pastime with.
Yeah, I had a follow-up question, but now
Go ahead.
I'm satisfied. No,
Go-
I'm satisfied since
You clarified.
it
Good.
was a real Sita. So yeah, but yeah, I got the answer. Thank you.
Okay. Good. Anything? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful class. I just wanted to check between the incarnations of Krishna, the Vipralamba Bhava, the rasa that you talked about,
Yeah.
does that vary as well, or it's the same Vipralamba Bhava that you were talking about in this class, and what Vipralamba Bhava Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tries to experience?
Yeah, yes. It's a quality of love, and the bhava that comes in prema bhakti is this. It's the experiences. There's different flavors, but it's the same, the transcendental same, with variegatedness within the transcendental same. So, in other words, what Mahaprabhu experienced in the mood of Srimati Radharani, but in the identity of Krishna himself, but in the bhava of Radharani, it's not. It's a flavor that's special, super Mahabhava, that only Radharani can have, and that's special. So if your question is it identical? It's the same flavor, but it's not identical. It's under the category of. And then what Mahaprabhu experienced was madness, transcendental madness in separation. Or who can imagine? Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. She has a nice question. Here comes the microphone. Hang on. Here comes the microphone.
Dandavat Pranam Maharaj. All glories to you and Srila Prabhupada and Sri Krishna ji. Maharaj, my question is how to practice a non-confrontable.
You don't read it. Just say it.
How to practice like a non-confrontable way of talking with when you are dealing with devotees or outside world, like.
Well, something, I'm not sure what you're asking, but confidential things are not for the outside world. You transcendental emotion is not going to be understood by worldly people. They won't understand it. I'll give it's a really nice example. You want a real nice example?
Please.
You asked for confrontation.
Correct.
Gurumaj, she's talking about confrontation.
Confrontation.
Correct, Maharaj. How to practice a non-confrontation deals when you're dealing with the devotees and non-devotees.
Non-confrontation. Non-confrontation when dealing with devotees and non-devotees.
Correct.
I don't understand your question.
How
You-
to be
How to
confrontational
Huh.
with the devotees and non-devotees.
Correct.
serve? With respect. Supposing somebody's mean. Respect. Supposing somebody's nice. Respect. Appropriate for the position. Supposing you have a grumpy grandfather. Supposing. You're chuckling like you do. Respect. And grumpy grandfathers can be grumpy. It's okay. It's okay. You smile. And you touch his feet, and you bring him cookies and whatever, whoever he wants. You just serve him with respect. And it's okay. You know, that's devotees, and then non-devotees. What's the basis for respect? No, that's a nice question. The basis is they're spirit souls in a human form. Now, supposing it's not in a human form, then respect, because they're spirit souls. Yes?
Yes, Maharaj.
Even an ant, Magari, the hunter, you respect. You don't want to bring harm or any difficulty to others. Even they may be bringing difficulty to you, it's okay. Respect. You may keep a respectful distance.
What do you mean, Maharaj? that
What
part?
do I mean?
Yeah, distance.
Supposing somebody's got a stick in their hand.
Huh?
Supposing somebody has a stick in their hand.
Okay.
You keep a respectful distance. Hmm.
But the conscious, we don't know, right? Like, how to make the distance, like.
Well, it depends on the circumstance, how to. Mm. But don't depart from respect.
Okay.
Behavior, speech, according to circumstance. What happens if you behave like that? What happens if that's what's inside? It's not just a behavior, but if that's what's inside, you become impervious to the harshness or the dualities of material existence, and you're a positive influence, force upon persons in this world that are in this world and of this world. You can be a change agent by that quality. Being always consistently with proper regard. For different persons, different speech, different behaviors, but consistent. People will ask you, like, what's going on with you? And you smile. And you can say, I've had this happen in airplanes, international travel. The stewardess comes along and says, what's with you? I've been a stewardess for 20 years, and I haven't seen anybody like you on our flight. What's with it? What's up? They don't use that exact language, but they're curious. And then you can say something, because you're not going
Deeper.
preaching. They're asking you, and so if you have a certain character, a disposition that's prominent and strong and consistent for a 15-hour flight, they're going to ask, what's up with you? And you are not just in a flight, in life. In life, you can be a change agent, an instrument of Krishna. What do you think? Is that right?
It's right, Maharaj, but it is
I
very
want to
practical.
hear the yeah but. What's the yeah but?
I didn't get it, you Maharaj. What did you say?
You were going to say yeah, but.
It is
So-
difficult practice continuously, consistently, Maharaj. That's what my.
So that takes stita d, steady intelligence. You know the meaning? Stita, D, intelligence. And how do you get steady intelligence? Bhakti. If you don't want steady intelligence, don't practice bhakti. If you want steady intelligence, be very careful. And it starts with chanting.
You're right, Maharaj. I agree.
Okay. Someone else?
I have one more question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I feel like in one of the classes you had told us that Chaya Sita is Vedavati in previous life.
Yes, we're going to do that in another class. I promise you, we're going to do that.
Yeah, I remember the story.
Okay.
Maharaj, another question.
Yeah.
Till what point of Ramayana did Love and Kush recite? Because they were still, Ramayana was going on.
They became the next king. You find in 9th canto, chapter 6, I think it is. There's a whole chapter dedicated to them and the lineage from them. They became the next king. I mean, I don't know if they had 2 chairs or how it worked. That one was older, I guess, and one was the king. The other was his younger brother or something like that. But, you know, they became king. When they came back to Ayodhya, they were 16. You know, young men. Teenagers, but young men. And super trained. Gosh. And with military skill and everything. They were ready. But, you know, maximum devotion. Trained by Valmiki. What a teacher. So does that answer your question?
So my question was, Maharaj, yes, a little bit. But my question was, Maharaj, were they reciting the future also, or only till what had happened so far?
Do you understand her question?
So they recited the entire Ramayana to Lord Ram, right?
Yeah.
When they went?
Well, I don't know if they recited the entire Ramayana, but one can assume so. Why not?
Like, did they recite the future as well? Like, what's going to happen?
Ah, that's your question. Oh. I don't know.
Thank you, Maharaj.
It's a nice question, because Ramayana doesn't end, you know, it's after they finished their song, then there was stuff that happened. And was that in the song? And did they sing the song of what happens after they sing their song? The end of his life and how he leaves this world and everything? Because that's in Ramayana. Don't know.
I heard like they were reciting that future also.
Huh?
Because Valmiki knows the future also.
Valmiki knows the future, but that wasn't her question.
So he taught them.
In the Ramayana, let's do it again. In the Ramayana, the future is told. Did they also sing the future? That's her question.
Yes, they were reciting that. The future.
Well, you say yes, and I say I don't know.
I have heard from Acharyas.
Huh?
I have heard from Acharyas like that. How Rama went from Sarayu River, everything they were reciting. Love and Kush.
You have a scriptural reference for what you just said?
Not scripture references,
Ah.
but from Acharyas.
Okay, acharyas, that's good. Could you provide me with an acharya statement that says what you just said? I'd like to see it.
Thank you, Maharaj.
I think we have to end.
Thank you, Veena Mataji. My follow-up question, my second question is that one only.
Which one?
Who are
You have 6 questions, you say 1.
no, no.
And
Related-
I understand you a little bit better now. You don't just have 1 question.
Maharaj,
What's your 1 question?
who are Lavakusha in their previous lives?
Oh, they're the eternal associates of Lord Ramachandra. That's who they were, the eternal associates of Ramachandra.
They're very lucky they got the guru
Yeah.
like a Valmiki.
Well, you become an eternal associate of Ramachandra, and you're lucky. More than lucky. You don't get lucky to become an eternal associate. You have something? No?
So Guru Maharaj is going to do a quick summary of your class if the questions are done.
You want me to summarize, or you want to?
He's the host.
Can you do it without looking at your notes?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you. Please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We are very grateful for your presence, divine presence, and divine nectar of Ramakatha today. And thank you, devotees, for taking your time to come today. And I'm going to give quick summary. So, Maharaj, you started with the doubt, right? Like, what is Maryada Purushottam? Like, what does it mean? And who is Sita? I mean, Ravana took Sita, so who is the actual Sita? Is it real Sita or just a mere Sita? So Ram searches for Sita, and then you talked about Jatayu's sacrifice, Jatayu's fight the demon, Ravana to protect Sita and attain a divine form after the death, and how Ram and Lakshman meet Hanuman and arrives at Pampa Lake, and aligns with Sugriva. Rama and Lakshman were welcomed by Sugriva, who shares, Vali took his wife and kingdom, and Rama, how he took help from Rama. Rama helps him, and slaying Tataka. Rama kills the demon Tataka, protecting sages and upholding Dharma. And what is Maryada Purushottam? So Rama's actions thought out show him as an ideal person following Dharma perfectly, like one who follows spiritual Dharma is Maryada Purushottam. And how Sita excels the forest life, and how Valmiki teaches Sita's sons love and kush, and the lessons on karma and offense. So basically the important point is the washerman's past life and the two types of offenses to Krishna and his devotees teach the importance of karma, respect and devotion. Yeah, thank you so much, Maharaj. So His Holiness Prabhupada Swami Maharaj. So Maharaj is giving, so these Ramayana sessions will be, we have few more sessions. So tomorrow Maharaj is giving another session at Regan Elementary School. So please reach out to me for more details. We would love to see you all there. Hare Krishna.
Let's chant one time Hare Krishna.